What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going to be doing another First Shots. Today we're going to be going over the Shadow Systems XR920. Now the Shadow Systems pistols are pretty interesting because they're like clones of a Glock that give you a lot of features that Glock should give you out of the box. A lot of people think of them as sort of a souped up Gen 3, and that's not really a bad way to think of them. They're very similar in silhouette, profile, looks, and the way that they work. However, in my personal experience with Shadow Systems, we've had some good ones and some bad ones. This one, however, looked really interesting to me simply because, spoiler alert, I got tinnitus. My ear's been pretty bad, so I went through a bunch of gun shops in my area and tried to find some threaded barreled options to shoot suppressed, and the XR920 was certainly one of the coolest options available. Suppressor ready right out of the box with a threaded barrel 1/2 by 28, suppressor height sights, an optics mount, and then some other accessories that you're going to get over a standard Glock. You're going to get a better grip angle, certainly a more comfortable grip. It feels a lot more comfortable. You're going to get a gas pedal from the factory, and then you're going to get slide serrations that are very, very functional. Unlike the standard Glock, these are really easy to grab, dig in your hand, and they work very well. Now, they do have holes in the slides, so some people like that, some people don't. You have an accessory rail so you can mount, if you're not an idiot, you can mount a light to it, and you can run it as a home defense gun or a carry gun. My buddy Nick, PewView on YouTube, he actually carried one of these for a very, very long time and shot them to death. They come with some pretty cool sights, HD front with a blacked out rear, and that's a tritium sight as well. So you get a good value for your money, and in my opinion, you get a more comfortable grip angle. Now, it does come with a better trigger than the Glock as well, which is pretty cool, and a better undercut. Does it shoot better? Well, let's go find out. Before we do that though, I want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys we have cool guns like this. We bought this with the Patreon dollars, so we really appreciate it. If you like the honest reviews, just go down to that link in the description and sign up. Also in the description is a link to a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. Those kids could really use your help, so please go down there and donate to those kids. And finally, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, the Sonoran Desert Institute. Certainly one of our favorite sponsors to have. If you're looking to get an education in the firearms industry, it's the best way to go. It has tons of options from you for anywhere from gunsmithing to drone technology. Anything you could be interested in the firearm industry, you can find an education with the Sonoran Desert Institute. If you want to become a gunsmith, it's a really high-paying job, and there's not very many of them, especially qualified ones these days, so it's certainly a good job profession to get into, more now than ever. So we'd really appreciate it if you check out our sponsor, the Sonoran Desert Institute. You want to see my group? Because I haven't been sighting it in. I'd say we're left. Can't get that fucker right enough. There is just a tremendous amount of stuff building up on my optic from the backsplash of the suppressor, and shooting into the light. I can't see shit.
It is bright out.
It's a big wave of nothing. Still got the headshots though if you look over there, because he just kind of. Yep. One of the nice things about shooting with both eyes open is that even when your dot is completely obscured, let's say by reflection of the sun, and then add a bunch of backsplash from the suppressor, I literally had no ID on the target at all, and I still made the hits in the head box because both of my eyes are working as one. One eye is looking at the uncluttered image, and one eye is looking at the red dot, and you superimpose them, and you make it work. So even with your red dot taped off, you can still make hits. There's people are like, what do I do if I get mud in my dot? Shoot him. I gotta say, this is heavy. This is fun. Let's see if I can get a... Those are all in the A zone. Quiet day.
Our neighbors
I don't get
think
too many
us.
paper days. We'll shoot some steel here in a second. Certainly changes the recoil pulse a lot. As you can see there again, look at the dot. Look what I'm looking through. Not bad for a Glock. It's running good. Heck of a lot better than the XR920, the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. Look at the glass now. Can you see through the glass?
Oh yeah, super
Look,
dirty.
look at this, watch this. You see a little dot I can see through. All right, so we had to let it sit for a little bit because obviously suppressors get hot, but it performed really well. I was actually surprised. I didn't initially think it would perform that well. A lot of times when guns are suppressor ready out of the box, they're not really suppressor ready. They do come with sights, raised night sights, which actually is kind of funny that they're raised even though you still can't see them over the suppressor, but that's not that big of a deal because you can kind of you can look at the sights and superimpose the target. That's the benefit of shooting with two eyes open. If you shoot with one eye open, you can't do that. Optics mount I was a little curious about because it does have an interesting wedge style optics mount, but it did hold zero with no problem. We only did shoot 200 and some rounds though, but it functioned very well. Overall, the slide was pretty sluggish during shooting. I noticed that it would shoot lock back and it would have a little bit of trouble locking forward. However, I think that will break in with wear. That seems to be something that is common with a lot of guns these days because they're not worn from the factory, and that's one advantage to buying a used gun is that you don't need to do that. The features I really appreciated though. It was definitely a better shooting experience than a standard Glock 17, and it should be because it's a little more expensive. That being said, if you look at the value of getting the threaded barrel, you look at the value of getting the trigger and some of the slide work, along with obviously the night sights, which Glock doesn't come with unless you pay extra anyway, I think you get good value for your money. As long as these things are reliable, I think it's a very good, very good feeling pistol. If you're used to a Glock and you want a little bit of an upgrade, I think it's a really good way to go. On top of that, they're available in big box stores for like, I don't remember what we bought this for, $600, $700, something like that. I'll annotate the price. But I don't really remember. I don't remember if it's 600 or 700, but they're pretty decent price and they're a pretty good gun so far. I know, like I said, my buddy Nick has had a couple of these and he had one bad one and a couple good ones. We had the XR920, the little mini guy, and we didn't do so well with it. Locked in there, I can't get it open. What the fuck was that about? We got a light primer strike. And then you can see where it got stuck in the barrel. but it did end up ironing its problems out after a couple hundred rounds, so maybe they just need to be worn in. Worked well as a suppressor host. We only had a couple bobbles initially, but as soon as the gun was worn in, it ran very well. Omega 9K runs great. It takes a little bit of a learning curve to shoot suppress, but I'm going to get a lot of practice at it because I'm going to be shooting suppressor so for the next month. So we'll have a whole bunch of suppressor hosts on the channel. Delta Point, first time I've really used it. It's okay. I wish it was adjustable. It's a nightmare that it's kind of auto adjustable, especially with front direct sunlight to your face. The red dot is just whatever brightness it decides to be. I actually prefer the nice little adjustment buttons of a Trijicon, but I'm such a Trijicon snob that of course I do. That being said, American company, are they okay? They're okay. But would I buy it again? I would not. The trigger was good, accuracy was good. I was hampered a little bit by the trigger by comparison to something like maybe a DWX or a Staccato or like something that's single action only or a very good trigger like a PDP. This is not a PDP. That being said, I feel like you can bear into the gun and it has a little bit more comfortable grip than the PDP, so it's a little bit of a trade-off. You kind of pick up the guns, you feel what you like, you do the dry fire practice. I would say one thing that I wish they could fix on this gun is going to be maybe not the trigger break, which is fine to be heavy, but the trigger reset here is pretty long, and that's a little bit harder to deal with for repeat shots if you want to look fast on the gram. That being said, for practical use, for self-defense use, does it make any difference? Probably not. So overall, I think it's a pretty good gun. If you guys want to see a 1,000 round review, let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see a comparison, maybe a Glock, let me know in the comment section below as well. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your Oklahoma shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.
Danger boy. Lily. You fatty.